Hello everyone. Can everybody see me? Been having some technical difficulties this morning, so I'm not sure if I'm actually on live. So let me know if you're here. Not sure what was happening. We've been having some problems with our internet this morning. So, hi Roz, how are you going? So obviously you can see me. So thanks for joining me this morning. Today, the 1st of August. My goodness, how did we get here? You'd think that in this lockdown that time would go really, really slow, but I just don't know where July went. 1 minute it was the 1st of July and here we are in August. So yeah, look, I was planning on doing something Christmas today because, you know, I was thinking Christmas in July, I'd still run with it for the rest of the month, and then realised we're in August. So we're not doing Christmas, we're having fun with games. So just let me get you up here on my screen so I can see who's here, and so I can interact with you. I really love to interact with you while you're joining me live. It's so nice to see people joining me, to know that I'm actually not just talking to myself. Hi Carol, how are you going today? Mel, awesome. Okay, so today, well, before we start on our card, how's everybody been this week? I know I had a really busy week this week. I had to go out for an optometrist appointment, so that was my sort of first real going out at all this week. And I'm telling you, the whole having your eyes tested and wearing a mask at the same time was really, really a trial. Like everything kept fogging up, and the optometrist was saying to me, "Oh, you know, that shouldn't happen. You know, like my equipment's designed for that not to happen." And I'm like going, well, it actually is. And despite my eyes being really bad and me not being able to read the last line of your chart, I can't see it anyway because my glasses are all fogged up. So all your lenses are all fogged up. So in the end, I had to actually get me to take my mask off because it just wasn't working. Hi Sue, how are you going? Yes, getting a coffee. I've actually got a coffee on the side too, and I've got it in a cup, which, you know, is always a danger when it's on your craft desk. So hopefully I don't spill it all over everything. So, and Murphy's Law, now that I've just talked about that, chances are that I will. Okay, so today I'm actually using the what is it called? The Game On stamp set. So this is one that was new in this year's annual catalogue. Did I have to do a field vision test? Yes, I did actually, Roz. And yeah, look, I mean, I hate doing the whole eye tests, you know, then can you see better with this one or with this one or whatever. And I actually hate that. I'm always like, it's like a test, you know, and I feel like I'm getting the wrong answer, and I get really stressed about which one I see better. But, you know, the whole child vision. I'm reading Carol's message which says get a child sippy cup, and I'm still talking about your message, Roz. So yes, I didn't do a child's vision test. And Carol, yes, I don't have any child sippy cups left in my house anymore because I've got older children now and I've got rid of them all. Anyway, so back to talking about the stamp set. So we're actually going to be using Game On, which was new in this year's annual catalogue. And I love it. I think it's a fantastic option for masculine cards, especially, you know, like the chess pieces and the deck of cards. Hi Michelle, how are you going? So I thought that we would actually use that today. Just for some reason I'm not getting comments, so just let me go back to why am I not getting comments? Oh, there we go. All right, so we'll be doing this card, which you'll notice. So I thought about chess pieces, you know, and that checkered background, you know, the checkered board. But actually, during the week, I actually saw, or maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, I think I might have even shared this idea from Stampin' Up's website about using the tailored tag punch to do these hexagon shapes. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll do that and use that instead of the traditional square pieces, because you know how I like to mix it up a bit. So I'll be using this punch, which is the tailored tag punch. And I'm just going to show you how I made those hexagons. Look, I used to have a hexagon punch, but I think I might have sold it off when it retired. And now, you know, I look back and think, I'm always in this dilemma about, do I sell off my retired product or do I keep it? And what I usually find is I decide to sell it off, and then after I've done it, I regret it. And so I don't know if you can, I'm getting a bit of a reflection in the top of that punch, but that's the punch we'll be using. So let's get started. I'll put this to the side. Let me get my supplies. Out. So we'll be using, these are the supplies we're using today. So we'll have our regular A5 card base, scored in half at 10.5. Where it's a portrait orientation with your fold down the left hand side. I have a piece of Sahara sand as our layer. You'll need 2 pieces of cardstock 1.5 inches wide. So this is what we're going to use to create our hexagons, and then just a piece of scrap black just to do our stamping on afterwards, and also some scrap white, which I seem to have misplaced somewhere. So let me just find that. A little bit over the shop this morning, don't know where I'm at. So let me get out a piece of, so we'll need a piece for our inside and we'll need a piece for stamping. Okay, so that's our supplies. So I'm going to start out first of all by creating our pieces, our hexagon pieces. So I don't know if you noticed on the card, you probably didn't because you couldn't see it close up enough, that I've actually used the textured embossing folder to actually give those pieces a little bit of texture. So so that's this, I don't know whether you can see it, this embossing folder here. So what I did first, and I'm going to just pop those in and then I'm just going to do this off camera. So I just popped both of my strips into my embossing folder and then I just ran that through my Big Shot. So just let me go off and do that and I'll be back in just a sec. So there we go. I don't know if you can see that, but I've just embossed those 2 pieces, a bit harder to see on the black. And of course, if you need more hexagons than we're using today, then you obviously need to emboss further down to run that through a second time. So let me start with our punches. Right, I don't know, are we all still there? I haven't seen any comments from anybody. I'm just really paranoid about my internet this morning, so if I keep asking you to, you know, to show me you're here, please forgive me. It's just, you know, I hate to be talking and know that I'm not actually going live. All right, so you will actually notice here that I've actually put some marks on the inside of my punch, and that's so that I can actually line up my paper when I put it in. Okay, so I'm going to the tag punch, that's the tailored tag, Michelle. So I'm actually going to pop my paper in and I'm actually just going to line it up. Goodness, pop through. of course, you would be difficult. Maybe my paper's a bit bent on the end. Doesn't want to go in there. There we go. So I'm actually just going to pop it in. If you can see there, I'm actually going to pop it in and I'm going to line it up with those marks I've made on my punch. Okay, and then I'm just going to punch. Okay, and that will give me my hexagon shape. And I'm actually going to do that. I think I probably need 4 of them, I think, on the card. Maybe if I just pop that in from the side, that's easier, isn't it? So I would love to take credit for this idea, but not my idea with this punch. I saw another demonstrator do that, and I think Stampin' Up also on their public page posted a little video on this, which I think I might have shared to my page. But really good idea if you don't have a hexagon punch. So it's just another way to use your punch. So I'm just going to punch these white pieces. I mean, the punch is just a beautiful punch on its own. It fits a lot of sentiments really, really well. So I think it's definitely a punch that's worth having in your collection. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Well, you know, I always like to give credit to other people when I look. I can't give direct credit because I can't remember who it was who created whose idea it was, but I hate to say things are my idea when they actually really aren't. Okay, so now we've got all of our things punched out. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our Sahara sand piece here. And you can see on the card that I've just actually used one of the stamps in the set to create a bit of a background here. And just gives it a little bit more interest. And I'm actually doing sort of tone on tone stamping. So this is Sahara sand cardstock. And I'm actually going to use Sahara sand ink as well. And I'm using that little sort of chessboard piece out of the stamp set there. So I've already mounted one of those up on my block, and I'm just actually going to bring in a bit of scrap grid paper because I'll be sort of stamping off the edge, and you know how I don't like to get my beautiful in colour grid paper messy. So I'm actually just going to do a bit of random stamping. I'll do one up here in the corner. Maybe one over here. So it doesn't really matter where, just to create a bit of texture. And I actually used it in this space because particularly on this left hand side, because that's where I'm going to leave a bit of a gap when I position my hexagons. So it's sort of filling in that empty space a little bit. Yeah, and I think that's probably enough. Actually, maybe I might just add one more over here. Ooh, I nearly dropped that directly on my project. I remember when I very first started my first workshop in a home, when I first started as a demonstrator, some 13 years ago. And I was at this woman's house and she had like really light, like white carpet. And I was using a bright pink, and I think it might have been called Pink Passion or something back then, stamp pad, and I pushed it forward like this, went to flip it over, and the lid flew off, so which of course is the part with the ink pad in it, and landed face down on her white carpet. I don't think she ordered anything that night, and I didn't get to do another workshop at her house. But luckily it's water-based ink, so it actually did come out with a lot of effort, but my goodness, it was not a good start to my demonstrating career. So I'm always you know, careful about, well, I try and be careful, but it doesn't always work. Okay, so then what I did next was I just sort of tried to, you know, position, work out, you know, where I wanted my hexagons. And this could be, you know, you could do this in any sort of pattern that you like. I'm just going to, you know, this is, I think, how I, you know, how I had it. But, you know, you can move those around and till you're happy with whatever you've got. Line them up. What did I have? I think I had another one, just a snippet of one down in there. A little bit of black, but you know, we'll work with those when I stick them down. And then one up here. So then all I did was take my Tombow. Again, yes, the leftover piece does make a good bow tie, Sue. You're good spotting that. I thought that too when I was cutting them out. All right, so now I'm just going to perhaps maybe bring in my silicone mat so I don't get stuff all over the place, and I'm just actually going to use my my Tombow, maybe bring in a pair of tweezers just to, and the good thing about this is if you use Tombow, of course, you know that you've got that wiggle room to position them a little bit afterwards where you know where you might like it. So if they're not quite straight, you've still got a little bit of time to actually position them. So what's everybody been up to this week? I know on Wednesday night I had a Zoom craft catch-up with some of my team and some of my customers, which was really a lot of fun. We crafted late into the night, making I demonstrated one card, and then the girls followed along with that, and then afterwards made a card using that sample with their own supplies at home, which was yeah, I mean, I'm hoping everybody had fun. I know I did. Lots of chatting going on. We also had the I think it's sort of mandatory now problem with volume and sound when we first started. You know, can everybody hear me? You know, all of that sort of stuff. I think one of the girls, I think it might have been Carol, who posted a picture after we'd all finished, because we have a Facebook group that that we're all in as well. This picture of, I think it might be Jesus, and he's sort of talking to, I know it might have been his disciples, or I don't know, a whole lot of different people, and he's going, so, you know, can everybody hear me? Do we have sound? Which really made me laugh. I think I might have actually had a white one there, so all of this talking, I'm not actually paying attention. So I always find, you know, the problem with the, you know, all of those different platforms that we're all using these days is that you know, some people are there on an iPad, some people are there on their, you know, on their laptop or their desktop, and all of those devices display things in in a slightly different way. So, you know, we're all telling each other, press this button or click on those little dots, but not everybody was seeing the same thing because we're all using different devices. So Sue's still making masks, yeah. Yes, Michelle, she said she loved the Zoom catch-up. So I'm hoping that we'll have another one of those in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll just get myself organised. So I'm just going to pop that one there. And then I think I might, I'm going to pop that one in in the little gap at the top there. So, looks like it's a lovely day outside today, so hopefully when I'm done here, I can get out for a walk, maybe take the dog for a walk. The dog's actually the only one who really does like ISO, because he's getting lots of attention and lots of time inside. And oh, look at that, I've got glue on my grid paper. And I've stuck this one to my paper. Lucky I don't need that part, hey? Okay, so as you can see, that's the, might just see if I can still push that one in a little bit. And then I'm just going to turn it over and I'm going to cut those off. I'm actually going to bring in my old scissors to do this, because it's got a bit of glue on the back of it, and I don't like to use my my good scissors for that. So just snip those extra pieces off. And I'll pop those in the bin because they've got glue all over the back of them, and I'll end up with glue everywhere. So there we go, there's our finished chessboard. So then I'm actually going to use some linen thread to just tie around the centre of the card there. So I'm just using linen thread, and I find the linen thread is like absolutely a must-have for, especially when you're doing mail cards. It's you can add that bit of interest without sort of adding ribbon per se. So I'm just going to wind it round 3 times, and then I'm just going to watch me struggle tying a knot. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if I've ever showed you this before, but in order to keep it all together, I'm actually just going to pop this, before I tie my knot, I'm actually going to pop this piece, oh goodness, come on, look at this. I hate tying bows, I think like most people do, and especially when I'm tying them on camera, I turn all thumbs. So if I do that and then tie a knot, then I can actually keep all of those pieces together while I tie a bow. And if I can't tie a bow, then I'll just tie a knot. Okay, so as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it'll actually keep all of those pieces together. I'm actually going to come here. Tie a bow. It always looks so awkward, doesn't it? For those of you, which is why I often do faux type bow things, because I can, but when you're at home in your own craft room, you can just fiddle around with it. Nobody's watching you. It's only when I'm on camera that you expect that you're going to do it in a hurry and it's going to look perfect. So that's not too bad. So then you can actually just sort of separate those ends out a little bit. You can move it up and down the card, you can move it across a little bit if you need to. Okay, so there's our bow. All right, so now we're going to do some stamping. So now I'm actually going to be using the chest piece out of this set, and some scrap white to stamp that on. And I'm just going to stamp it in Memento, so Memento Black. Now this is a standalone stamp set, so it doesn't have any dies with it. So that means that if you want to cut it out like I did, then you will need to fussy cut it. So we're just going to cut that out. Now I'm not going to make you watch me fussy cut because I cut one out earlier. So I've already done that. So I'll just put that to the side. And I've got a piece here which I prepared earlier. And I've already put the dimensionals on the back of that. So as you can see, I went a bit crazy with the dimensionals. But I wanted to make sure that it was solid and that it actually didn't bend at all on the card. So you know how sometimes when you're, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but you pick up tips and hints and stuff, when you're crafting, you learn new things and then you forget them. Right? And it's not until you actually see someone else do it again that you go, oh yeah, I remember that. So actually this week I was watching a YouTube video and I saw a girl getting the backs of her dimensionals off using her Take Your Pick tool. And I thought, I do remember doing that some time ago and I'd forgotten about it. So I brought back in my Take Your Pick tool and I started just pressing right through and then just flicking off the end of my dimensional, and I didn't have bits of backing sticking to my fingers, especially when I'd been using Tombow. And I thought, I knew this was a great idea and I was doing it for a while and then I stopped doing it. I don't know why I stopped doing it. Anyway, so I find it works better with the smaller ones for some reason, but it's not going to hurt your dimensional as long as you don't poke all the way through to your front image, which knowing how clumsy I can be sometimes, that would probably be me. But just poke it through and sort of lift it off with your Take a Pick tool and then get your image stuck to your nails. That wasn't great, was it? So 1st of August, that means that we're getting close to the end of bonus days. So if you haven't heard me talk at all about bonus days, that's the promotion that's running this month with Stampin' Up. So when you put in an order when you spend $90 on product, you will actually get a voucher for $9, which is sort of 10%. And you get to spend that later in August as a discount off another order. So which is really great. So and it's for every $90 you spend. So if you spend $180, then you'll get 2 vouchers, and those vouchers will come to you in an email with a code from Stampin' Up. So not from me, from Stampin' Up. And so if you do that and you get one of those emails, please don't lose it. I don't know, flag it or move it to another folder or whatever, because they can't reissue them. So so that finishes on the 3rd of August, and then you can spend it starting the 4th of August, which is also the start of our new holiday catalogue. So you'll have lots of new product to actually spend it on as well, which is fabulous. So now I'm just going to attach that to my card, and I'm going to do that using, I think I'm going to do that using Tombow. So a couple of things happening this month. So the end of bonus days, 3rd of August, and the start of the new catalogue, the 4th of August. So that's the what we used to call the holiday catalogue or holiday mini, which is now being called the August to December mini, and it's the one that has all of our Christmas offerings. It's some beautiful stuff, some stuff for everybody. There's all sorts of different things in there. So I'm going to attach that to the front of my card. There we go. What time? Where are we? Okay, we're running a bit over time. So then what I did was I actually used the sentiment, what is it, from the stamp set, which says, hope your day is all fun and games. And I've actually heat embossed that on this scrap of black paper that I had earlier. And I'm not actually going to do that now. I've actually done one earlier so that you don't have to, we won't sit through that. So, but what I did do, you can see, is I actually snipped it in half after I embossed it. So when I first embossed it, it looked like this, and then I've just snipped it in half. So then I'm actually going to use some mini dimensionals on the back of that, or some dimensionals cut in half, because it is very narrow, and I just usually use the edges of my my leftover ones to do things like this. Just bear with me while I You're all gone quiet out there. Are you busy? Are you still there? Are you busy watching, or you've gone away and gone to make a coffee or something? So don't know. I can't see any comments. So give me a thumbs up or a wave or whatever if you're still there. Are you packing groceries, Mel, like you were last week? Now, don't forget, if you're joining me live today and you comment or share my video, then I will do a draw at the end of the live. I promise I'll do it at the end of the live today, and then you will receive, the winner will receive one of the receive this card in the mail. So once I've drawn, I do put the winner up on my Facebook page, and if it is you, please reach out to me so that I can send your card to you. I don't have everybody's address, and I like to make sure that everyone gets their card, so please reach out to me. So there you go. There's the, I noticed we had another white bit, I think maybe in my other card, but so that's the finished card. You'll, on the inside of my card, I actually just a regular white piece, and I just did some stamping with the die stand here. So I stamped my dice, and then I masked over it, and then stamped the background behind it. I might just quickly show you how I did that. So I just took my piece here. Where are my dice stamps? Now I can't find the dice stamp. Maybe is it in here? No, it's not. Ah, there it is there. Okay, so I just stamped the dice first in Memento. So just down here in the corner. And then I just stamped it again and created a mask on that. I use, I think it's called Eclipse tape, but if you, a Post-it note will work fine. Just cover up the image that I've stamped. Bring in my little checkerboard stamp, and I'm going to stamp this again in Sahara Sand. Then I'm just going to stamp over it there. And the sentiment that I've actually used in the centre of the inner panel is from the Itty Bitty Birthday stamp set. Just let me show you that one. So that's this stamp set here, and I find this is fabulous. This has all birthday sentiments of all different types, and they're quite small, they're not big ones, so they're great for using on the inside of your card, or just adding it to another stamp. And I'm using the one that says "It's sure to be a fun day," which I think goes with the greeting I'm using on the front, which is about fun and games. So I'm just going to stamp that in Memento, and that's the inside panel of my card finished. So, and and I will just, and then that just goes on the inside of my card. I'm going to stamp that for you now. So there we go. So there's the finished card. Thanks for joining me today. The other thing that I forgot to remind you is that 1st of August, new host code. So if you're ordering in August, you're ordering online and your order's over $50, or even if you're putting your order in with me, make sure you use the hostess code. There's a little field for it when you're actually putting your order in online. Michelle_grech.stampinup.net is my online store. So you can order online and get it delivered directly to you, so you can do it in the comfort of your own home at your own leisure. But make sure you use the host code, and then if your order's over $50, you'll get a little gift from me in the following month. So hope you all get out there and get to enjoy the sunshine, get to do something fun this weekend as much as we can in ISO, or just head out, grab yourself coffee, grab yourself a cuppa, but all take care of yourself, and I will see you all again next week. Okay, bye.